All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your patience. I know a lot of us had late nights last night and early mornings, but before we jump into the remaining items for the day, as always, we'll start with where we are in our public safety metrics. Homicides are down 25% compared to the same time last year. Non-fatal shootings are down 33%. Carjackings are down 13%. Auto thefts are down 46%, and total violent crime down 7%. Total property crime is down 19%. This morning, I want to uplift one thing, and then we'll jump right into questions. This morning, I'm joined by Chief Wallace and the great team at the Baltimore City Fire Department, because for the second year in a row, Baltimore has won this prestigious MACo County Innovation Award. The County Innovation Award was established to recognize superb and leading-edge county programs that improve overall quality of life and service delivery for county residents. Just remind everyone that Baltimore's an independent city, so we're also technically a county in the state of Maryland. This year, Baltimore City won for our EMS-based telemedicine initiative, which allows the Baltimore City Fire Department medics to use tablets equipped with Tele911's emergency telemedicine software, marking a significant step in modernizing the city's emergency response system, the first in the state of Maryland. When dispatched, BCFD medics can now assess patients and perform a telehealth consultation with emergency medical physicians that are licensed here in Maryland. This often eliminates the need for costly hospital emergency room visits, as they can evaluate the situation and recommend alternative care options on the spot. This program is an important part of the city's efforts to improve healthcare accessibility and efficiency. We're on the cutting edge of this approach with only some jurisdictions around the country that are utilizing it right now. I think it's safe to say that this will definitely stir interest in our counterparts across the state of Maryland. So congratulations to the fire department team. Thank you very much. It's amazing to see our hardworking first responders innovating this way and shining a light on the exciting work happening in Baltimore. And we will get into questions right after I say that this is the second year in a row that we've won the NACo Innovation Award. Questions? Charlie?
Hey, so the DOE just approved $195,000 to create 13 positions for the opioid restitution fund, or the board, excuse me. Why that $15,000? You can just talk about, or $195,000 total. Why that money? What is it going to be going towards? Why is that necessary?
Well, Tyler, I think that we know it's necessary to, as we've been talking through our executive order, that we were going to be standing up positions to deal directly with that. And in order to have those people who are going to be applying for the job, as we talked about the other day, we need to have the position. That's simple, because the work has to happen.
Does that money come from the $669 million?
Again, that money is actually coming from city funds, and we will make sure that that money goes out the way that it does. As always, we have to approve it in this way at BOE, and we'll be sure to follow up with you with all the details about how it's approved, what the source is, where it goes.
Last quick thing. So it was deferred this time, but there was also a $35,000 thing that was deferred by the comptroller's office, but it was a consultant for financial advisory services related to the opioid funds. What is that position being created to do, and where is that funding coming from?
Again, same response, and we don't talk about items that are a possibility. When the item passes on the board, and if the item comes back, right, because we could be having a different conversation in a few weeks, but what we outline again is that we're going to make sure that these funds are available over a 15-year period, and we need to have advisors that advise us like we have financial advisors for the city, period, when you're talking about large sums of money, to make sure that we're making right investments, to make sure that we're talking about an endowment, all of those things to make sure that they're done the right way. And you have to hire professionals to manage your money. I know that I do that. I know that you do that. The city is no different.
You had mentioned you were out late last night for your inaugural party, so I'm curious.
Not really that late for me, but yes.
I'm curious whether you'll be disclosing donors to your inaugural fund, and if you can tell us how much is in the fund.
Yeah, I think that actually, Emily, if you just look on the back of the pamphlet, it actually tells you the folks that were donating, and we'll, as always, we comply with all the rules and regulations, and we'll share that publicly.
Okay, I believe it's not disclosable under campaign finance law, so I'm wondering if you're going to independently disclose it.
We have no problems with sharing that information. This wasn't, I like to do things in a more Baltimore centric kind of way. There was a Baltimore type event last night. We weren't looking. We did have a national act, but that national act just happens to be someone that I have a relationship with. So he was able to come and perform and do those things, and we pay our people that do all that great work. We had a lot of DJs from Baltimore, but this wasn't an event where we were going to be needing millions of dollars to put on.
We'd love an invite next time. Just moving forward, now.
You got to get the tickets early. I gave everybody the warning that they were going to sell out. It was a lot of people I know that, like, is there a separate list? No, it isn't. There's a max. I don't want these folks standing behind me telling me that we're above the fire code.
I know you've only, been in your second term for a day now, but looking forward, plans going forward, is another term on the table?
Well, look, I think, Emily, that the time will come for that discussion. But right now, it's about the work that is ahead. And as I always said, we had this similar discussion a few years ago, right? In order to get a second term, I had to do my job in the first term. In order to get a third term, I have to do my job in the second term. And that's what my focus is making sure that I am doing the best job that I can do as mayor right now to see what happens in the future.
Okay.
Hi, Mayor Scott.
Hello, ma'am.
I've been thinking about you with cross-country nationals.
Yeah, we do.
I keep thinking about you, yeah.
It's very cold.
Yeah, it will be very cold. That wasn't mine. I didn't want to use up my question in that time. But this is the first day of your second term. You have 4 incoming freshman council members, and you'll have a new city council president. Can you weigh in on what your hopes are, your expectations for this new makeup of the council?
Well, listen, I'm excited, right? And these are the great thing about all the new members. With one, as folks already know, right? We know that Councilman Blanchard is a great public servant. He coaches high school football at Digital Harbor, so I got to see him lose to Mervo every year for the last few years. So, but I know how dedicated he is to the city of Baltimore. Councilman-elect Gray, all right, obviously is no stranger to City Hall. He's been working here for Councilman Burnett. I know how much he is committed to his city, but also to his district in Southwest Baltimore. Councilman Jones and I have been friends for many years, right? He's my brother in the labor movement. Work with him in all of his jobs throughout, working for different labor unions, and know and understand how deeply he's connected to East Baltimore, but also in particular his push and desire to have people paid great union wages, and I know that we share that together. Now, albeit there's one person that was joining the council, and Councilman Parker, who the thing I'm most excited about. This is someone that I've known, the pastor, since I walked into his church when I was a freshman councilman way back in 2011 or 2012. Yes, he is a fine public servant. Yes, I know he will stand up for his community. Yes, I know he will push us and make us a better city government, and that's what I expect from all of them, to push me and make me better every day. But the best part about Councilman-elect Parker is that he actually can play basketball, and he's going to raise the team, the Baltimore City team, up to the level we need to beat Prince George's Montgomery County again. And obviously, I've known the council president-elect for a long time. He and I were a daily record 20 in our 20s together way back when, and have had a great working relationship. We were neighbors in the 1st and 2nd district, and obviously continuing now, and just really looking forward and very hopeful that we will continue to work together. Like I said to them yesterday, yes, it's going to be a lot tougher than we thought it was over a month ago. But we have the responsibility to fight through that. We have the responsibility to stand up to bullies that will come and try to dictate to the city. We have responsibility to push through the tough issues, not to do things that folks may like, but to do things that are right for the people of Baltimore. And I expect that we're able to do that with all of them because they are fine public servants, in addition to those who are returning to the council.
And my final question, what's your reaction to the outgoing council president asking for a pardon for his ex-wife? Do you think that was the appropriate forum to do that?
Listen, I think that I have no issues with the council president using his last moments as a elected official to advocate for that, right? That's him advocating not just as the council president, but also as someone who's thinking about his family, right? And even though they're not together anymore, they're still family. They still share those two beautiful girls, and that is an advocacy that he should do if he chooses. But the decision is ultimately President Biden's decision to make. But as far as presidential pardons go, we've historically seen some transgressions that are far worse than hers. But President Biden and President Biden alone will make that decision, and the only opinion that matters is his.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
He asked for his colleagues to join him in calling for that pardon. Would you support that?
Well, I won't speak for anyone else, but as I just said, Emily, the president will make that decision. But as I also said, we've seen transgressions that are far worse. But this decision is solely rests with President Joseph Biden.
So is that like a maybe I join in, or I'm kind of joining in?
That is a President Biden makes the decision, is what that is.
Okay, thanks.
JZ, WMR,
In the corner over here.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
I'm sorry, ma'am. You're the only one I don't know. Can you tell me who you are?
Oh, from Fox 45, I'm Megan.
Hi, Megan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So we're still seeing people falling victim to carjackings, robberies committed by juveniles. As mayor, how are you going to change that in the coming year?
Again, I think that question is oversimplified, right? As the mayor, and I know that this is particularly hard for your station to understand, the mayor's job is to enforce the laws. As you can see by the numbers, and you can see by the conversations that your station and I have all the time, it's not that the city and police department isn't doing their job, right? We are seeing them arrest the same people, sometimes in the same day, over and over. What we're going to do is continue to do our part, and our part is to enforce the laws. Our part is to prevent those things that happen and when we can. But for my police officers to make those arrests and identify those people and take them off the streets. What we also will do is continue to advocate and work with our partners at the state level to make sure that we're not arresting the same young people over and over again. And I think it's particularly important for the viewers of your station to understand that, and for you guys to tell that story the right way, that the city is there to enforce the laws, and the police department is doing a phenomenal job in doing that. That's why carjackings are down. That's why auto thefts are down. That's why homicides are down in historic rates. That's why shootings are down in historic ways. But what we have to also do is work with our other partners to make sure that there's the accountability and the services need to make sure that the same people, whether they're young people, old people, or in between, are not committing the same crimes and back out on the streets so quickly.
Anybody else? Todd?
The BOE also just approved salary increases for several positions, including mayor, city council president, comptroller, vice president of the city council, and council members, liquor board, chairman of the liquor board. Why was that necessary?
It's not, I think, Tyler, I know you haven't been here that long, but it's actually in the city. It's every time the unions get one, those positions get one too. So it's not something that we decide. It's actually set that happens every single time all the employees unions get a raise. Thank you.